Hi art students. It's time for another week of art, but first we're going to do Godzilla of the Week, so here it is. This is Angurius. He's a toy. I have his tag on still. You keep the tag on like when you're a collector. People like him. But he's got all these spikes on his back. He's kind of cool. Detail. This particular Angurius is from Godzilla Final Wars. So he's a little more updated. There's kind of more funkier designs from the past. There we go. He's pretty cool. He's pretty sweet. He's back from 2004, which is before you were born. Anyways, that's it. That's it for Godzilla of the Week. So now let's get on to our art portion of the video. Hi, lower age, multi-age students. Today we're going to continue to work on our hamburger. Last week we made our bun and we worked on the background tablecloth. So we're going to put these pieces over to the side. Today we're going to work on a bunch of parts, okay? But let's start with our meat patty, okay? So the meat patty, we have two of them, so make two, right? Because it's going to be a real big hamburger. We're going to take crayons from home. So you're going to use brown and black. Let's see if the brown is dark enough. Let's see, we're going to shade on the sides. I might have to use black. Actually, this works out okay. You can barely see it. So you can use brown, and if you want, you can use a little bit of black, but the brown, you have to kind of press down a little harder. And we're going to just shade lightly, well, not too lightly because this is like a dark brown. You can just color it in, but we want to have this shaded shadow along the bottom and along the side. And so that's what we're going to do. I'm just going to shade it in here. And then I went up all the way on the left, and then on the right, we don't have to go up as much, maybe just a little bit. Okay, all right. And then before I add some texture in the middle, I'm gonna just do my other hamburger patty as well. So I'm gonna shade some brown. I'm just gonna color in some brown here. It's gonna make it, and it's good to do this before we cut it out, because that way, if we go outside of the hamburger or patty like that, we can just cut it off, right? Okay, so here I go. Normally we do this super lightly, like softly, but like I said, because this is kind of a darker brown and this is not as dark as a black, we can press down a little harder. So we're just kind of coloring that in. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now what we want to do is we want to kind of put some texture on our hamburger patties. So they can be just like these little marks, kind of like this, like little quotation marks, and we can kind of put them all over the place. Like we probably don't need too many. You just kind of put them all around, and it kind of, from a distance, it kind of just looks like there's some rough texture in that hamburger patty. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm going to go to my next one. Just these little quote marks, these little two marks next to each other. Kind of look like eyes maybe, or quotes. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm trying to think if we're going to cut these out now or just cut everything out together. Let's cut everything out together. So I'm just going to kind of put these off to the side. And then now I want you to pick your, you should have like a red square somewhere in that big bag of parts. And we're going to make a tomato. We're going to make a tomato. And so the first thing we want to do is we want to make a circle. Now a circle is kind of a hard thing to draw sometimes. It doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, if you draw your circle and it's not very good, that's okay. We're just going to flip it over so you don't see the black mark, or if you mess up, right? But here's what you can do when you think about drawing a circle. What you can do is you can find the center of each line. So I can go find the center there on top. I can find, and I put a very tiny mark there, very tiny mark. Center the bottom, center on the side, focus, and then center on the right, right? And so what we can do is we can curve our line and then stop right there, and that might help us draw a circle. It helps me, I'm older of course, but watch what I can do. I can make a curve and connect it. I can connect it from this point to that point, and then I can connect this point to that point. Now, see how it helps me? Now, if you just drew a circle, that's okay. It's fine, as long as you have a circle. And it doesn't even have to be a perfect circle. Not all tomatoes, sometimes they get, they're kind of elongated, or they're not perfectly circles sometimes. But anyways, this just might help you. And if it helps you, great. If not, you can just draw a circle. But you want to try to draw kind of a big circle. It's kind of as big as you can on this small paper, and this kind of helps. And then from this corner, I'm going to curve back over here. Okay, there it is. See how mine wasn't exactly perfect, but that's okay. Oh, we do have to cut this out, though, before we draw the inside. Let's do it. We'll cut it out, and then we'll cut out our meat patties. Okay, so you can get a scissors, and you're just going to cut this out. And what we're going to do is when we cut it out, we're going to flip it over. That way we don't have to worry about any leftover black outline. So I'm going to cut this out. Okay, let's see. I can flip it over. If you have a little sharp edge, you can just kind of trim it a little. Like here's kind of a sharp edge. So it's kind of more rounded. Okay, that looks pretty good. It's pretty good. Wow, focus. Well, it has to be right here to be in focus. Okay. While I have my scissors out, I might as well cut these guys out. So these are my meat patties. So again, now here you are going to see a little bit of that black line, but that's okay. Maybe you can cut on the inside of that black line a little bit so you don't see it as much. And if not, if you see a little bit of it, that's okay. But it does kind of look a little nicer if you can cut that away. I think your outline might have been in pencil, so it might be less noticeable. Mine's a black outline, so it's better to cut it out. Okay, so I cut that out. So I'll just put that to the side, throw away this paper. I got my second meat patty here. I'm going to cut this guy out. All right. Let's see here. Okay, so I cut that out. I'm going to put that to the side. I'm going to throw this away. Okay, so now back to this tomato. So remember we flipped it over, right? So that the black outline's kind of on the back. And now we want to draw the little subdivisions of our tomato, and we're going to use black. Now, here's a trick though. We want to draw a small, very light circle in the middle. We don't want to do it very dark. So very light. It's almost, in fact, you could almost use a pencil. I'm going to use a pencil. If you have a pencil handy, it might be easier. I'm going to draw a circle in the center. And see how it's kind of small circle. But it can't be a dot. It has to be kind of like a circle. Okay, so there it is. That would be better than just using your crayon, because the crayon's going to be dark, even if you try to go lightly. And we're at home, so we can do this. In class, I'd probably make everyone do it with their crayon. Okay, but now what we want to do is we want to make triangles. But the triangles are going to connect to that circle. So watch, I'm going to draw my first triangle. So it's going to come out like this, not all the way to the edge. There, like that, right? But here, watch what's going to happen. It's going to curve here where that circle is, and then on this edge, it's going to curve. It's going to curve like that. Why? Because the outer edge of the circle is rounded, and so will this be rounded. All right? It's kind of a weird shape. It was hard for my class to draw this. Okay. Then what we're going to do is on that drawn circle with pencil, again, we're going to draw. Now, it's not going to touch this. It's going to be very close. It's going to be like that, right? And then it's going to have a little bit here. and it's going to be another kind of, it's like a triangular shape. It's not really a full triangle, but then this is going to come out like this, right? And then this is going to curve, right? Basically, this is the inside, the slice of the tomato, and they have these pieces. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same over here. Remember, these lines don't touch, right? They're close, they're close. There's like a little gap. And then this is going to be, it doesn't have to be a perfect, like they don't have to be all perfectly the same. And then this is going to curve here. I think usually there's 5, but I end up with 6. So let's see here. I'll just do, I'm just going to do one in the middle again. Curved. And then we still have some space in here, so let's make, they can be a little smaller. In fact, that one comes to a point. I ran out of circle there. And here we go, like that. Okay. So that kind of looks like the inside when you slice a tomato. Okay. Now, we're almost done with this. Now, this might be hard to see on the camera. Let's find out. It's hard to see yellow on red, but we want to try to make some seeds. Now, the seeds are only in these shapes. So let's see. You have to kind of press down kind of hard. Can you see it? Oh, you can barely see it on that camera. Okay, good. They're kind of hard to see, but you're going to kind of press down kind of hard and make some of these dots. And these dots are going to be the seeds of the tomato. And like I said, they're kind of hard to see, but you can tell. Sometimes, your eye can see them, and it just looks a little more natural or detailed, and it looks nice. But only inside these shapes, not in this part. That part's just red. You have to kind of press down kind of hard, and you can do kind of as many as you want. I did like 4 or 5, so that looks pretty good. Yeah. Okay, so okay. We're done with this for now. I'm gonna put that with my meat patties. Okay, now it's time for the cheese. So you want to get this this yellow square, right? And so the first thing we want to do is we want to cut diagonally. We're gonna cut from the, what is this, the left corner to the upper right corner, and we're gonna use the scissors. So we're gonna cut diagonally. It's gonna make 2 triangles like this. Go corner to corner. Right? And that looks pretty good. So cheese, right? Now, what we want to do is we want to make Swiss cheese because that's a lot of fun. Now, if you have a hole punch, a lot of people don't have individual hole punches at home, but if you have a hole punch, here's what you want to do. A parent can help you if it's hard, but you want to punch some holes in here. Sometimes when you press in, it gets stuck, so you have to like kind of pull it apart this way. That happened at school. In fact, I kind of had to do it. I have to do it. Now, if you don't have, I'll show you what you can do if you don't have a hole punch, okay? You can just draw the holes, and that's okay too. Okay, but the best thing to do with your hole punch is this. This looks pretty good, right? But you want to get some holes on the edge. Somehow it makes it look more believable, right? It's such a small detail, but if you pop or cut some little holes on the edge, it looks like Swiss cheese, because Swiss cheese, these holes are all over the place, even on the edge. And so this looks kind of fun and nice. So you definitely want to get some holes on the edge. So that looks pretty good. That's a lot of fun. If you don't have, so if you have this around the house, go find it. Pause the video, go find it, and do that. It's a lot of fun. And you can do it to both pieces. But if you don't have a hole punch, a lot of people don't have a single hole punch. You can just draw the holes. And let's see, we could use the black, but let's use the brown. The brown is, it's not as dark as the black, right? And so again, I can just draw some holes, right? Circles. And that looks pretty good too. Now, if you're going to draw holes, make them a little bigger. Like, we can't get super big holes with that hole punch, but if we're just going to draw our holes, we might as well make them kind of big, right? And that looks kind of nice. And they're kind of all over the place. I almost want to color them in. Yeah, just color them in. Okay. I'm Okay, I'm going to put this over with my other cheese. Finally, what we're going to do today is we're going to make that pickle. We're going to make a big pickle. You might have a skinnier piece than me, which is okay. So we want to draw a big pickle. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw a nice curve with our black. We'll use our black. And we want to make it look kind of like a smile. So it's kind of like this, right? And then this is kind of, now we go another smile underneath. And then you can curve it on the end. I did that really fast, didn't I? Should I do that slower? So you're just gonna make a curve, and you make another curve underneath it, and you just connect it. And don't worry if it's not like perfect, right? If it's perfect. Now we do want to add some color. Let's see, some shading. Let's see, do we have a dark green? I don't know if this is gonna show up. Let's find out. We might have to use the black. Oh, it does. It does show up. So if you can just get a regular green. Let's add some shading. So just like how we did on the meat patty, let's shade on the bottom. And we're just kind of, this can be kind of light. So you're just kind of like coloring it in. You're not pressing down too hard, but it's going to make that kind of dark line. Usually the light shines down from the top and then there's a shadow underneath, right? And then we want some lines in our pickle. So let's see, usually pickles are kind of like, I don't know, they just kind of have some lines like this. You can do them lightly though. Like I'm not pressing down too hard. Right? And then they might have a couple spots here and there, like little lines. Like these are just little, not holes, but they're like little, they're basically just little marks in those lines. So that looks pretty good. Right. Okay. Then you got to cut it out. And that's it for today. So next time, so what you want to do is you want to put these in a bag or just keep them safe. Like maybe if your parent has a paper clip. If your parent has a paper clip, you can paper clip all these to your paper. I kind of cut out that black line. That's pretty good. It's okay if you cut on the inside of that black line. If you see a little bit of the black, it's okay. Okay, so there's that. That's a nice pickle. Okay, so you can paper clip these together, you can put them in a bag, but next week we're going to start putting together our hamburger. And I don't remember exactly what was given in your bag, but you might have had a little bit of string for mustard and ketchup, and you might have had some tissue paper. If not, don't worry about it. Oh, and then we have to make our onion next week too. So we still have a couple more things to make next week, but then we'll start gluing it as well. So that's it for this week. So we'll have one more week of working on this awesome hamburger, and just keep your pieces organized. I hope you had fun. I did, and I'll talk to you next week. Have a good weekend. Bye.